All right, let's do this. Let's get into this. Let's go. Let's go. Hello there, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It's so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is December 22nd, 2023. It's the Christmas episode. And we're going to write a little bit of code today. How you doing there, chat room? I see we're broadcasting on YouTube and Twitch. It doesn't know this hat. It doesn't know this hat. Sorry. I've got my Penn State Santa hat on because next week I leave for the Peach Bowl in Atlanta. Sunny Atlanta. I hope it's sunny. Looking forward to that. So streaming next week's going to be a little hit and miss. We'll see how it goes. Certainly with the holiday on Monday, we won't be streaming, and not over the weekend. This is my last stream before the holiday on Monday. So we'll probably stream a little bit on Tuesday and Thursday next week. Wednesday is going to be a little bit tricky. And Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm in Atlanta. Yeah. So, yeah, maybe 2 days next week. Dev Talk Show with the raid. Thank you so much. I didn't even get in and welcome folks in. Look at all the stuff that's been happening here since we got started. Let me say hello. Let me welcome folks in here. Surly Dev, hello. Napalm Codes, good to see you. Nitro Evil, good day to you. _ Hello. Sinclairinator is here with the resub. 54 months with us. Thank you so much, my friend. Surly Dev says, part 4, when it comes to films, the fourth one in the series is rarely any good. Let's hope I don't follow that trend today. We'll see. Lanky Scottish nerd, hello. It doesn't know this hat. It isn't going to know this hat. Sinclairinator with the 5 gift subs. Thank you so much. 5 gift subs into the channel. I'll make 5 more donations to the American Cancer Society. Big congratulations to 127 local host Eldorian, Eat Bites, Louis in, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, and the Stripey Cat. Congratulations, you got gift subscriptions from our friend Sinclairinator. How you doing there, Dukasoft? Motown Andy, yeah, you like the hat? You did not choose the hat for me? Sorry, no. My red Santa hats have wandered off. So how you doing there, Dev Talk Show? I saw you were working on some fun with TagZap today. Yes, we are Napalm Codes, absolutely. You can't wait until next month. It's right here. Oh darn. It's right here. It's ready to go. So we're going to be getting that set up over the next few days, making sure they tell me that I need a powered video connector to make this thing work. I think we'll have something going on there. Dev Talk Show started on a dev container setup for TagZap. Yes, got pretty far, but didn't quite get it talking to Postgres in the dev container. Okay. I made a mess. So I think there's something to be said about if you're building and working on TagZap in a container. I think there's a point that we can set you up with in-memory providers. There is a a version of okay. There's a version of the database providers that are all set up to run in memory, and there's a version of it, or there's a feature in the Twitter provider that has some um, hard coded messages. So if somebody wants to tinker and develop, there's code there we could work with. We could probably come up with a faux provider, with a fake provider that just generates some lorem ipsum text every so often and generates a yeah, it just generates some fake data that appears every so often and just gets pushed into the pipeline for the purposes of folks that are developing in a container and need something to interact with. I, if you're in a dev container trying to hook up to a Postgres database, it's kind of weird. If you're, especially if you're trying to stand up a new one. We could talk further about that offline, but I love that you went down that path. Thank you so much. Did you claim the issue in the repository? Definitely, we need something like that for code spaces. Yeah, yeah. Did you claim the issue in the GitHub repository? So it is the Christmas episode, and I will be pausing in about an hour and a half, about 11 o'clock Eastern time. I will be pausing, and every year since I started streaming, I read "Twas the Night Before Christmas" and "Twas the Night Before Die Hard." Just take a few moments, kind of. Yes, "Twas the Night Before Christmas" is a Christmas story, but I want to make sure that everybody kind of feels welcome, included, and we kind of think about the season, and it takes some time to do things that aren't code and appreciate each other, be thankful, that kind of thing. So let me see over here. Probably not. No problem. How you doing, invisible programmer? Just jumped into the Night Before Die Hard. Oh yeah, yep. So we will be doing that. Right there's a dev container. Yeah, there it is. So I have it listed on milestone 4. So if you want to claim that one, we can get you assigned so that nobody else works on it, and they know that it's what you're going to be working on. How you doing there, Speedy? Hello, hello. Let me get some music playing in the background here. I'm going to go with the synthwave playlist today, and I'm going to scroll somewhere down here. Oh, this sounds good. My Happy Place. That's no. There we go. This is music that's DMCA free, royalty free. Hey, thank you, 10th Ton Man. Hello. This is music that's DMCA free, royalty free. Listen to it wherever you'd like. Twitch, YouTube, doesn't matter. Check it out at streambeats.com. Big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for putting this music together that we're listening to. And I like listening to, you know what am I doing on this one? Hang on. He's got a holiday version playlist out here, and a holiday set of these. Wait a sec. Right, this one? Stand by. He's got a holiday playlist. I should go to that one, not this one. And really? Spotify is not responding. That's wonderful. That's just wonderful. Close and restart it. Let's see. Yeah. And let's just search for Stream Beats Holiday. No. It's not an album, it's a playlist. I thought he had Stream Beats official playlist. There we go. There we go. It's a Stream Beats Christmas playlist. All right, I like that better. Couldn't see the stream recently. Your employer banned Twitch. Invisible programmer, so I'm on YouTube also now. So we're syndicating on both services. How you doing there, Motown Andy? You enjoy this story reading? Yeah, we're gonna get into that. So, I'm gonna put on the Gunners, and then I want to talk a little bit about where we are with TagsApp. Thank you for the follow. There's a smear right in the corner. What's my YouTube link? Same nick. Same nickname. YouTube.com /Fritz. And that'll put you in over there. And Restream cross-posts messages between the two services. So you'll see the Restream bot is posting messages over there on the live stream on YouTube. So, all right. We've been working on TagsApp, and TagsApp is this application that we've been building that makes discovering content across multiple social media networks easier. And we've discovered and we figured out that it's really good for folks that are streaming, producing live content. Yeah, there you go. And that YouTube message should, there it is, flow over to Twitch. So we've been migrating the application so that it's going to run with Blazor and .NET 8 because we believe this is going to be faster. We believe this is going to allow us to run and allow us to run things in a much more compelling way, being able to share content running with C# both on the server and in WebAssembly. And we're seeing that already. There are a couple things that are just a little bit wonky that we might end up tweaking, tuning, to get it to run just a little bit faster. Particularly, we're seeing when messages are added to the waterfall view in TagsApp, the resizing of them isn't quite right. So I've gone through and I started wiring up how to connect to and access and interact with the database. Last night I started trying to set up the login button on the top. And I ran into some issues. I was actually coding while using my VR, the MetaQuest headset. Oh my gosh, what a great experience. Oh my gosh. Worlds better on the MetaQuest 3 headset compared to the 2. I use an application called Immersed VR. Absolutely amazing. So I have 2 screens here hooked up to this PC that you're watching me broadcast from. And I was able to add 3 additional screens, virtual screens, so that I could have different things monitoring, different whatever. Really, really cool. Coding on a VR headset, it is very clear. Yes. So Immersed is the one app that I use. Another app that I tried using the streaming tools that Meta makes and using the Meta tools that come with it, and not quite as easy to do. And it doesn't give you the ability to add virtual displays. You're either looking at the display that you're already looking at or not. That's it. So, does it require a lot of grunt for processing power? No. No headaches when using the VR headset. It has a very high refresh rate. I think it's 120 hertz. Is that what I saw? So it looks really good. Um, and the pass through on the cameras is amazing. So I punch a hole in the virtual display so I can see my keyboard, right? Really, really nice. So the catch is it uses a lot of battery while it's doing this. So you pretty much need to be plugged in or else you're going to be done in a half an hour. So there are replacement lenses you can get for inside of it because it tracks your eyes. And and to the point of does it make things clearer? It tracks your eyes and improves the resolution of the things that you're looking at. And the other things it takes down to a lower resolution. The other thing that I've noticed because of this, it is much clearer using that with my contacts. The display is much clearer for me to look at, and it feels so comfortable. Is the VR set too heavy? So I got the extended headband so that it's got a hard piece of plastic here that holds on to the back of your head. Yes, it's heavy. I mean, you're putting something that's a good 2-3 pounds on your head, a couple kilos on your head. You get used to it, and the trick is having it strapped on the back so that it's not pulling down on your face. Having it strapped on the back, then it's nice and balanced, right? And the strap that comes with it is okay. You can adjust it. It's all cloth. It's Velcro, so it's not terrible. Yeah, it's about the weight of a normal motorcycle helmet or some other helmet you may wear. I must do a VR coding stream. I've tried one in the past. I think it'll be much easier to do it this time. We'll see. So glasses, they recommend, and you can get replacement lenses to drop in for your glasses for like $50, $50 American. So you don't turn your head to look at other screens. Oh, you do. That's just it. So not only did I have this screen that you see me on, that you see me using right now, I had that one ultra wide right here down low. I had 3 screens above me, and I had another one off to the side. So I had 5 screens that I was able to work with and pin all kinds of data that and things that I wanted to look at, and I could bounce back and forth through them. Really, really cool. There's also a webcam feature where you can stream your avatar working in VR space. So, Famda, hello. Funny I mentioned the controls in VR. You spent 4 years investigating interaction on VR. I'm a big fan of what we could do with VR. And, I'll bring it up again. I really like this app called Immersed. Let me bring that up. You're publishing a paper for a real-life application using VR? Cool. I like the Immersed app, and there's a way that you can do this pass-through, or you can be kind of in VR space and kind of black out the rest of the content so you can focus. So it's the app is available for free, but there is a pro mode that you can get also that adds more virtual screens, higher resolutions, co-working space. I don't care about co-working space. More environments, other collaborators, screen sharing, whatever. These other things don't really do anything for me. The extra screens, though, is interesting, particularly when traveling. To be able to hook up to a laptop and have extra screens, yeah. So what they're doing, so I have the I have the Meta Quest. So, but they're actually making their own headset. And actually, they updated the website here a lot. My problem with this is, so it's a visor that looks like a pair of sunglasses, so it's a lot smaller. Folks want the stems, thinking that they're going to be sunglasses. The weight of what's in the front isn't going to work. You need a head strap with this, right? And you see folks using it, but they're wired in. They've got a battery in their pocket or something. But it only runs this app, so you connect to your laptop to work with it, and yeah, it works with all the operating systems. But it's $1,000, and it's not even available yet. Like, you're going to pay $1,000, and you're not going to get anything for 6 months. Like. And there's a Founders Edition that looks pretty cool. I'm not paying $1,200-$1,300 for something that I'm not even going to be able to use until June. I'm sorry. I love the idea. I love the space. I love the app. And the shield colors are really cool. Right? I really like the blue one. If there was a purple one, I'd be all over it. I'd be all over it like a bum on a bologna sandwich. It's... no. It's... right, the default one... right? I mean, looks cool. Great, you can customize it. And a battery. An additional 2-hour battery. Like, it's a little bit much for me, and I love working in this space. Oh my gosh, I love working in it. So, hey Eric, nope, haven't missed anything yet. Design and evaluation of a choreography-based virtual reality authoring tool for experimental learning. That sounds very cool. Choreography-based virtual reality authoring tool. That sounds very cool, Famda. So I was thinking about doing the pro version, but I'm like, I don't know. $5 isn't bad, no. But at the same time, I'm like, I need to get back in and be coding regularly in order for me to say, yes, I want this. So, you were using the HTC Vive Pro. Okay, moved on to Quest. Platform is cross-plat and device agnostic. Nice. And HoloLens. Let work pay for it. Actually, you might be onto something. Yeah, a couple $100 today, and product isn't supplied yet. There's a company CEO in the Caribbean that's thanking me, right? Like, don't get me wrong. It looks really, really free 2-hour battery with it. And I have keyed in, and I do have the battery code for it. But to get one of these, like, it's just it's not an AR VR headset that's generalized. Visor's focused on making a complementary market segment and specifically optimized for work. So they might have an SDK for side-loaded apps at a later date. And the ship date is as early as possible in the year. Like, I'd be interested. I would if it wasn't a pre-order. Right? So 4K resolution, 2 stereo RGB cameras. So opens in seconds. Yeah, versus when you're on the Meta Quest, you have to go through and actually launch the app and wait for it to start up on the Meta. So, on the Quest headset. And it is higher. So, the resolution of the cameras coming through isn't great on the Quest 3, but it has great resolution. So, how is the visor so inexpensive? No, it's double the cost of the Quest 3. So it is not wireless. Yeah. You're going to get better performance wired. So it's not shelved, but I don't know the specific bits of it. So yeah. They can say it's inexpensive thanks to Apple, right? $3,500 for Apple's system, and they're only making how many thousand of them? So so that's definitely a thing. Oh, here we go. So Rich and Space Shot are working on this issue. So here's what I'll do. I will assign. There we go. So I'll just tick that over to Rich, and they're working on it. Can I put multiple assignees? Can I add? No, it won't let me. Bummer. Doesn't a digital twinning require a VR headset? Haven't tried it. So, this will be cool. The idea being, let me rewind and change topics over to this. The idea for adding a dev container configuration to Tags app is to allow folks to open, explore, and learn more about how to build a complete .NET system inside a dev container. So, a nice place to jump in at. Big thanks to Rich and Chris here for taking a shot at that early this morning, and looking forward to see how this rounds out and what we can do with that. Oh, I'm enjoying the coffee today. I made a French vanilla coffee, put a little bit of peppermint mocha creamer in there. Oh, it's so good. So the problem I started running into, let me show you where I started building last night. I started adding a login view. So in the current application, there's a button in the top right corner that is your login name, or it's the login button. Hey, Sean.
Codewitzy and just resubscribed for 42 months. Good morning and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for that. The Dev Talk Show, yeah, let's put a shout out for them. Spell shout out correctly. That should be it. There you go. Yeah, huge thanks to them, and if there are other folks you want to write blog posts, you want to generate some other content by building onto Tags app, go for it. Go for it. I wholeheartedly encourage you. So, Sean, big thanks for those 42 months, and we'll make another donation to the American Cancer Society. Thank you so much for that support. Eric says you can layer application in layers in dev containers. I'm confused. What do you mean by that? Steve Elliott, hello. Good to see you, Sean. So I started putting this login view in there, and I set it up so that we inject a user manager, and down here when this component is initialized, if we have an HTTP context, so if we have your login context, go get your display name And we're going to put it into this field that will show right there. And I ran into some gnarly issues. And you can see it right away here. Second operation started on this entity framework context before it finished. Part of me wants to put a timer on the screen. Time to... what's it called? Right, time to the night before Christmas. I do have a timer script here. Stand by. See, timers. It's this one. Duration in minutes. Let's say 60 minutes. Yeah, I'll just say let's go. And if I turn that on, there it is right there. So when that runs down, we'll do our night before Christmas reading. Is this SSR? Some of it is. Some of it is. Solution maybe to use the DB context factory. You'd think. And you would be... I think you're going to be wrong. I hate to say it, but I think you're going to be wrong. And let me tell you why. Because I'm not using Entity Framework directly here. It's being handed off inside the user manager. So when you look at how it's being configured, right? That's a to-do bit we need to finish configuring. It is... I even embedded it over here. So it adds, right? It's doing add. In this case, I even have it drilled down a little bit further. It does add DB context, and I even told it to go service lifetime transient. Doesn't matter. Because it adds identity core here, and I'm requesting the user manager. I'm not using DB context factory there. Was that the lifetime of the context or the options? I believe that's the lifetime of the context. So, right, comma, yeah, context lifetime. And by default, they say scoped. I changed it to transient, and doesn't work. Yep, we can take a look at the error again. And it's nice and big and ugly on a web page, if we'd rather look at it there. Second operation was started on this context. And when we look at where it is, it's in identity user accessor, which is one of the pages that are generated for us. Line 8 there. And it's it's coming to that from the account management page, line 48 there. So let's go there. I left Blazor app 1 in here just so I had a reference, so I could look back and forth and figure out what I'm doing wrong. So, 48. So it's in here. It's literally on its first request saying, go get the current user. And get user async is where it's dying right there. So it's being handed a user manager. And that user accessor is here. And there's another user manager on this page as well. The plot thickens. Do I really need the other user manager? Well, it's getting the other information. And I really don't like calling user manager multiple times there to get those other values. Like, the user object that comes out of that, doesn't it have those values on it? Like, email and phone number are sitting right there. Right? And come here, you. There's the display name. That's the value I added. Normalized username and username is there. So why don't I just get those? And then I don't have to worry about it. Whoa, that's a lot of code. Builder services add cascading authentication state. Standby. Hang on. Let me go back to where... Yep. Add scoped identity user accessor. Add scoped identity redirect manager. I copied these directly in. Authentication state provider. Persisting revalidating authentication state provider. Yep. We do love code, Bitwise. How you doing this morning? You can use user manager find by name. But I'm right, if we say user manager find by name, can we pass in that? So that's the claims principal. Can we do identity name there? And that'll get me a user. All right, so if we do that, and I comment these out, you go away. Right? Do I really need username and phone number up there? I guess I do. And then there's input model where it's receiving and validating stuff. Let's route it through there. All right. Username equals user dot username. Come on, you had it for me there, Copilot. Thank you. And I still need to put, what's it called on here? Email address. Hey, Chris Jones. Did the PR for the Blazor template get looked at? No, everyone's on holiday. No, I don't expect that to be looked at for a little bit. I expect that'll be right. What was it? .NET, ASP.NET. What? ASP.NET Core. That's why. Issues. Hello.
Dress music.
Hey there, Drez. Thank you so much. Tier 1. Appreciate that for 3 months in advance.
Dress music just resubscribed for 3 months.
Thank you so much. That is very kind, and I'll make a donation to the American Cancer Society. That's not it. Doesn't know this hat. Sorry, Eric. I just did a search on my own name here, and it's not showing up. We did this yesterday. We did this yesterday. 10 hours ago. 10 hours ago. 10 hours ago. Really? Were they working this much? What was the name of the issue? And then we're back to, yeah, updated yesterday. Did something happen to it? What is this from Ed? Improve the templates. Really? Well, I created the pull request, so maybe I can find the pull request. Right there. And it failed build, really. It took 4 hours to build and failed. What's in the build analysis? Oh, it just ran too long. Eh. And let's see. Nope, nobody did anything with it. So just keep that open over there. Thank you so much, Dre Music. Really appreciate the subscription, the 3-month subscription there. And yeah, we'll be reading the Night Before Christmas in about an hour here. Close that. Close that. All right. So we were in here. Now why is it a possible null reference? No, because we're inside index. We know it won't be a null reference. What? Okay, so what's the null reference you're referring to? What might be a null reference? It might return. That's fine, whatever. It should. No. If user is null, return. No, doesn't. Oh, the HTTP context user identity? No, there will be an identity there. No, it's not that one. Not that one. Not that one either. No. Because I'm on an authenticated page that you need to be authenticated to get to, right? And we need to put that authorize capability on this. I didn't change anything in here. So if I kick that off, we take a look at it. So they did a nice job with this music. Holy crow. Come on, build. There were only a few songs last year. Got a nice collection this time. Okay, so it launches and you see it has my name in the corner, and I can navigate around. See that little blip? And my name disappeared. Right? Like, why? Not sure why you're looking at that, friend. Oh. Okay. So if I go back out, And I do have the name appearing. If I click into it, I get to the first page. Go to another page, and blam. And we're running into the exact same thing. Get user, get required user async. Let's dive into personal data and see if we can do that same update. Yeah. It's not showing the user information anywhere here. Oh, it redirects if there is no user. How is this being registered? If it's scoped, then I should be able to cache this user so that it doesn't go and get the user again. Because it's already loaded it. Right? Yeah. If we already have the user, return it. Yeah, it's going to get one. And it's... I've already done the test that that's... No. No. Like, it just wants to be grouchy about nulls, no matter what I tell it to do to ignore that. Like, I'm going to be grouchy about it. Context is not null here. Yeah, I know. It was passed in. Right? If context is null, right? And redirect with status. Unable to and it's still so you're telling me that, well, this might be null coming out of here. Yeah, and I'm handling it right there, you schmuck. It's not that, because I just put a check for context if we don't have context to bail out. I went through and put, and it doesn't matter. Come here. Fix this nullable warning. You fix it, Copilot. No. Go away. So now by having it fetch once, right? So when it loads up, it'll go identify you and then stash that, so it doesn't go look it up again elsewhere in the application, right? Like, nope. Cannot access the disposed context instance. Oh, we got something new here. Hang on. Back up. Now if I click in, yeah, now it doesn't matter where I am. Hey, Scott. Do private variables persist between postbacks in Blazor? Private variables persist between postbacks. It depends. If you are on a secure, an interactive server configuration of Blazor, it can. If you're on the same page, it can. That page will stay in memory, and it will remember that for you. So, is it wanting to return task of... Yeah, it's a task of type tags-app user nullable. And we're handling the null check right after it. And it's still grouchy about it. Hey, Sector. PowerShell Freak with the resub.
PowerShell_Freak just resubscribed for 49 months.
Thank you so much. Have a good one there. Good to see you. Put the whole thing in brackets. Oh, jeez. All right. Because we handle it right there. Thank you so much for 49 months with us. Yep, and I'll make another donation. But that, while that looks better, yeah, go ahead, reload. We're now running into a different issue with Entity Framework. In that it's disposing. Ooh, look at all that. Yep, second operation was started on the context. And I agree with you. The way to fix this is DB Context Factory. But I'm not on the DB. I'm not working with the DB context. I'm working with User Manager, which tells me User Manager isn't thread safe, which tells me User Manager isn't. Yeah. So at User Manager, find by name in index on initialized async. And it's... Right, it's still... Yeah, it doesn't matter what page I go to. I'm dead. I have to do a hard refresh. And... yeah. This bit doesn't work. Right, so that's why I want to stash that. Like, okay, there it is. And when I navigate, poof, it's gone. Why? Oh, I know why. Because the waterfall page, no, it references and uses the header. Which then calls login view, which should show one of these items. Okay, let's back up. Authorized route view. We were tinkering with that. Did I break it? No, we're good. Captain Coder! Oh, man, look at this! Hello, hello! Welcome in, Captain Coder and friends. Hello, hello. Welcome in. 106 viewers joining us. Yeah, look at that rating party. Hello, friends. Happy Friday to you, my friend. How are you? We are debugging and diving in and trying to deal with a little bit of an entity framework issue here. I'll give a few seconds to make sure that any pre-roll ads finish up there. 3 hours of sleep, can't think in 3 dimensions. Ooh. Ooh. What are we counting down? So, in about 30 minutes, it's tradition here on my channel. We've been doing it for the last 6 years. So this will be the 7th year that I do this. I read 'Twas the Night Before Christmas and that holiday classic, 'Twas the Night Before Die Hard. So, EF issue, story of your life, coding chemist. You're not wrong, but we should be able to get around that. We should be able to get around this. My concern is I'm not using Entity Framework directly here. I'm working through a security object and running into and hitting an issue there. What's with the link to TBD Gamer? Yeah, I did start reading some other readings. So I'm running into this little issue where, first off, it's not even showing this content for some reason inside my header here. It's not even rendering that, and I don't know why. So, yeah, Jay, why did you drop a link to TBD Gamer? They're a friend, but just curious, just out of the context. Hey, we're gonna drop a link to someone else. So my other links here do show up, but then when it goes into login view, there's an authorized view here, and some of this content should show up. But, I mean, it right? Like, if I just drop some text there, see, there's something there, and the link is there to do the account manage, to do this. but there's no text, and I don't know why. Maybe it's a bot or something. Maybe. Nobody. So this is a good question for folks that aren't familiar with Blazor. Let's just talk about this briefly. Blazor got a lot of notoriety because there was a WebAssembly sample that was shown at a conference about 6 years ago now. And getting .NET running on WebAssembly in the browser, that's huge. That is a massive accomplishment. The team looked at that and said, okay, let's move with this, but let's also protect ourselves, because there might be scenarios where folks don't want WebAssembly running in their browser. And if we're going to build and evolve this thing, let's also allow it to run on the server, so that if for some reason the browser vendors all decide, you know what, this WebAssembly thing is garbage, we're not going to support it anymore. While it is an HTML5 standard, we're just going to drop support on it and revolt against the W3C and do our own thing. Because they did that with Flash and other embedded components. And they made a server-side version available that renders and runs nicely from a server. Well, when you have something that runs both in the browser and on the server, the question then becomes, well, I'd like to have it run in both places at the same time. Have some content run on the server, have some content run in the browser. And with .NET 8, we now have that capability. So things are a little bit different. Gives us some flexibility now. Now we can render in actually 5 different modes. So WebAssembly, server, but we can also render in static rendering on the server, just like if you were building an application with MVC or PHP or Razor pages. You're generating content on the server, it renders some HTML and ships it. You can do that with Blazor also, and there is no persisted connection or interactivity coming and going back and forth. We can also stream content from that static rendering. And then we have automatic rendering mode, where the browser will decide, am I going to run this in server-side mode, or interactive mode, or am I going to run this in WebAssembly interactive mode? And if we don't have the WebAssembly content yet, run it in server mode until it's done downloading. And when it's done downloading the WebAssembly stuff, go run WebAssembly. So there's lots of options there. I'm going to grab just a couple more of these questions here. Lanky Scottish Nerd with some insight. Dre Music says, would I start development with ASP.NET Core or Blazor as a starting point? I would start with ASP.NET Core because Blazor has many capabilities that are not trivial to understand. And if you're starting web development, having that base knowledge of here's how to generate some HTML and put it in the browser is going to benefit you going into Blazor, because there's a lot of concepts that start getting added in: managing state, managing interactive render modes and locations. There's separation of things, and it gets, while it's very powerful, it gets confusing quick. So for somebody starting, yeah, I would start with just ASP.NET Core, and MVC or even Razor pages would be easier to start with first. Let me queue up a couple more questions there. Sweet Radish asks, anti-forgery token, is that a custom component or is that built in? That's built in. That's a feature that's built into Blazor that allows you to generate anti-forgery tokens so that you can verify that there was no cross-site scripting attack, and that nobody tried to push a button coming in from somewhere else. Blazor is whatever you want it to be. It's kind of like Zombocom. Right? Zombocom. Let's find the Zombocom and let's turn it into Blazor. Can we do that? Somebody must have a Zombo. Right, there must be a Zombo site that's out there running somewhere. Is it still running?
Welcome to Zombocom. This is Zombocom. Welcome. This is Zombocom.
This wasn't the original Zombo.
To Zombocom.
That animation
You
bounced
can do
around.
anything at Zombocom. Anything at all. The only limit is yourself. Welcome to Zombocom.
And it's just the audio.
Welcome to Zombocom. This is Zombocom. Welcome to Zombocom. This is Zombocom. Welcome. Yes, this is Zombocom. This is Zombocom, and welcome to you who have come to Zombocom. Anything is possible.
There's got to be a way for us to riff on this with Blazor. Blazombocom? I don't know. There's got to be a way for us to riff on this. And it would be so... Yeah. That would be... And it's just one page, right? With a link to Font Awesome. And they put the Zombocom image up at the top. And that's it. It's just a thing to play the sound effect. That spinner is... Yeah. It's... Look at this. Even they can't do a div align center. Look at this. It's just a wheel spinning. That might be fun to riff on and do someday. Lanky Scottish Nerd points out here, the waterfall page uses interactive rendering. It does. This is on interactive server. In the docs, it states HTTP context is always null when using interactive rendering. You might be onto something there. Let's come back to that. So what is Blazor called now? Did they stick with Blazor United? No, just Blazor websites. Just Blazor websites. Let me see here. So let's go to nobody. How do you choose which target you're aiming? Can the client choose the strategy? The browser, the user can't choose the strategy. You declare a render mode, and it decides. Yeah. So that's a thing. Do I even need interactive server on this? I do for the floating header. For this bit right here, which also has interactions down here. Yeah. So we're going to need to work on that. So The render mode is declared here inside the component and inside the waterfall page itself. I actually tell it, go auto. Go to auto mode. And after you visit the first time, the next time you come back, it'll run completely on WebAssembly. And everything inside of it will run as WebAssembly also, including each of the messages and the modal dialog that pops up. So, right, that's all WebAssembly. And right, that's kind of what I want, right? Why is it? Right, and see, the resize is just, it needs to hit faster. Right, but I want that to be WebAssembly so that it runs really, really fast coming through. So this is static. These other pages will be, yeah, I didn't move them over yet. But that's all WebAssembly, and that's why it loads so fast. It just, so. So Scott says, my impression of Blazor is it is a lot like the old ASP.NET web forms. I'll continue. All the processing and state management has been moved off the server side to the client side. No. It's like the old ASP.NET web forms in that it is a very component-based framework. It's not like web forms in that you can choose where you want it to run, and it keeps connections to the server with WebSockets so that it can repaint and fill in and do some, as you saw me navigate here, do some nicer navigation interactions. And that one's blowing up. So we'll figure that out in a little bit here. Yeah, WebAssembly is way different. Yes. In .NET 8, they removed the Microsoft ID entity templates. Yes. I might need to have a persistent component state on the server and on the client to have that. If you use the user manager, it needs to run on the server and persist the state to the client. You can call a function of a parent component that is rendered to the server from a child component. Yes, you can. Yep, binbur. Yep. So maybe I do need to pass the user information through. That's a long question. Follow-up question is, can this cover a technical requirement for an offline app? Yes. A real business case used portable scanner in a warehouse in some corner are not covered by Wi-Fi range. Had a bunch of client-side JavaScript. Yes. You can do this with WebAssembly, and so you go full WebAssembly. I'll answer that question with a demo here that also sets us up to be able to explore a little bit of what's going on. So I'm going to choose Blazor Web App. Yep, Web App 2, that's fine. Authentication, yes, please turn that on. I'm going to say render mode. Let's turn on auto. And, yep, include... and I'm going to make this global. All right. So it creates app 2. And then we have our WebAssembly down here. It didn't give me an option to turn on the PWA. The persisted authentication state provider. That's probably... No, I have one of those down here. No, I don't. Yes, I do. We'll get back to that. So there's a server component here that you can set up. Yeah, it doesn't have the manifest. You can set up with a manifest, and it will save and run things offline. If I go right to WebAssembly standalone, there we go, progressive web application. And okay, whatever. So in this model, here it is as a standalone. It's just an HTML page. There's the manifest and the service worker. So this will run completely offline because it's just the WebAssembly components. And you can build using the exact same syntax that we're using all of these components, and it'll run in the browser and be able to do be able to save it locally to that device. And then when you get back into a range where it can sync, you could have it send data back at that point, but you're going to need to build that sync capability yourself. So, but you absolutely can have it save things offline in the browser. Yep, progressive web apps. Yep. So I do have persist authentication state provider, and it's receiving the claims and all that. So how do I get that? When it was rendered on the server, this authentication state will be fixed for the lifetime of the WebAssembly application. This only provides a username and email for display. It does not actually include any tokens that authenticate to the server when making subsequent requests. That works separately using a cookie that will be included on HTTP client. Okay. And there it is, persisted right there. And there it is. So where is it requesting this? Download personal data. And it's in the client as it declares it. So it looks like it's just magic that it passes through, but it's not there. We should do an, but I'm not. Right, so okay, if we go back into app 2, right? It's just an authorized view. And it's fetching the context off of this. So, hey, Jeremy.
Jeremy Knight _ me just resubscribed for 48 months. Have a safe and happy holidays.
Thank you so much. And yeah, in about 10 minutes here, we're gonna have a little bit of fun with 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. 48 months, 4 years with us. Jeremy, thank you so much. And I'll make another donation to the American Cancer Society. So in my login view, I have the same authorized view here. Right? So what if I inject that identity user accessor? Right? In which case I need that using statement. using. Still isn't picking up that injection. Right? Yeah, I know. No, I do want it to be null. So if I'm down in... See, I'm in an authorized view for these.
Hey, listen.
Yes? Yeah, I grabbed the namespace for it. Right. So that I generate a using statement, so I find that. Yeah. I'm creating the using directive so that it finds it. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Right, so if I want to get the user coming back, I should be able to do that. And I should be able to, right, and this is trying to do it by hand here. Yeah. Right, let's remove this. And remove that also. Right, I should be able to say user manager. No, say it's not finding that. Get required user. Who? Attempt to access a missing method. What? Login view set user manager. I don't get it. Can I convert from authentication state to HTTP context on 11? So if that's an authentication state, hang on. Go back over to the template. It does context user identity, so this should be like that. No. That is the claims principle. You want me to inject the authentication state provider. But I'm not going to have the claim. Like I can do that and say get user display name async, sure. Right? And pass in. It's not going to let me generate that. But the context there, right? String, no. Async task string get user display name. Really? So what's the context being passed? It is... See, it knows what it is. It's right there. What was the type of that context? Yes, I did go to Penn State, Psi Gamma. Yep. I can inject iHTTP context accessor. But it's already being generated and managed for me in the routes. It's already being done right there for me. So it's just there. I forget what this type is. It wasn't HTTP context. Or maybe it was. I don't know. In which case I still need to get a user manager. But what if I said context, user, and I don't have... Autocomplete is dead. Right? There is a username in here, isn't there? Identity. I can hit. Can I convert from authentication state to context? Fine. And it's not adding the using statements for me when I ask for it. Right? Components authorization. Microsoft, ASP.NET Core, components. It was right there. Okay. So now, what do I have off of this? Context? Yeah. Building. And that looks so appealing to me there. Right. Task from results. Really? You got to rebuild the whole thing for that? You make me sad. Oh, looky. A missing method. No, it's there. You just... So now, I want the display name. So if I click through... I'm okay now. But I want the display name. So if I injected a user manager, right? Which... this has... mean, I could duplicate this. Right, it's authentication state. I don't want to return null because I know you're logged in. And that's right. What happens if they change their phone number or something? Am I resetting that? They haven't gotten there yet. Oh, let me finish this page and then we'll do.
Listen.
Yep. We'll do that in just a second. Can I just do redirect? And I'm just going to redirect you to index. Yeah. So if we have a user, return the user. Line 50. No, I'm just going to do the same thing here. I'm going to redirect you to index. So now I should be able to use the same get required user async. So here, right, and if I made this an async task, right, I can do return await. It's not really a user manager. Get required user async. And that returns a full user object. Yeah, that's a restarting. Add a claim for the display name. I've already got a structure that doesn't use a claim for that. And really? And you're not going to let me do that await operation. Really?
Squirrel!
I know. That's weird. Not gonna lie. That's weird. Like, all right, I'll just work around it, but give it a second. Yeah, I have a display name property. So, all right. Let's take a few minutes. There we go. I like my music better. Let's take a few minutes, and I do this every Christmas. And whether you're a believer or not, that's okay. I think it's important that here, the end of the year, the holiday seasons, and whatever faith you might have, it's the holiday season. We're celebrating the end of the year. Time to be with family. Time to be with friends. And yeah, just being a good, nice human, right? That's a good way to put it, Borove. Yeah. So I like to share a tradition that my wife, my family have had for 40 plus years, almost 50 years, where my wife's grandfather would call around to all the grandkids on Christmas Eve and would read The Night Before Christmas. And it was very special to her, to my kids, and it's something that I want to, and I continue sharing with you, my extended streaming community, my friends, and taking just a little bit of time to be thankful for that, and enjoy the poem "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," and then to move on and enjoy that Christmas classic, "'Twas the Night Before Die Hard." Let's start with The Night Before Christmas, shall we? And I'm just going to dial down this music just a little bit. Here we go. "'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief, and I in my cap, had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters, and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new-fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes did appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers he flew, with the sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur, from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes how they twinkled, his dimples how merry, his cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard of his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke had encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his dean gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night. That was first published in 1823 in the Troy Sentinel newspaper with the name Account of a Visit from St. Nicholas. So that's something I do enjoy reading every year. But of course, it wouldn't be Christmas on Twitch without something just a little bit more different, a little bit more fun, and a little bit more irreverent. This is called "'Twas the Night Before Die Hard." It was originally written on Reddit in the Die Hard subreddit several years ago, and I'm happy to share that with you. It is hard to believe the holiday is here, Saigamma. You're right. So we all know Die Hard's a Christmas movie, right? All right, it's a movie that takes place at Christmas. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the tower, the terrorists were plotting, the hostages cowered. The bonds were all held in a bank vault so tight, but Hans Gruber was planning to steal them that night. McLean had flown in to visit his wife, not knowing this party would have so much strife. Holly was there, John's wife, though estranged. They argued a bit, heated words were exchanged. Making fists with his toes, John tried to find safe peace. John... We'll read that again. Holly was there, John's wife, though estranged. They argued a bit, heated words were exchanged. Making fists with his toes, John tried to find peace. The bad men came in. The party did cease. McLean was safe. Up the stairs he had run. Hans didn't know John would ruin his fun. John had no shoes, but he didn't care. He knew what to do. No time for despair. Takagi was dead. They needed him no more. His body lay lifeless, blood on the floor. Argyle didn't hear the shouts that rang out. The music so loud, you would have to shout. John pulled the alarm. He thought they were saved. Hans called off the fire department. The situation was grave. Tony found John, but McLean defeated that foe. Now he has a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho. John uses a radio and contacts police. Sergeant Al Powell shows up, gunfire to increase. Hans soon realizes McLean's hard to beat. He wasn't lying about Marco. He's down on the street. The detonators are missing. Carl is miffed. The SWAT team shows up, their action plan swift. McLean tries to warn them, tells them to stay back. They all got shot while trying to attack. John blew up the third floor, saving the cops' lives. The press gets it on tape while the FBI arrives. Trust is betrayed, Ellis tells all. But John won't... I'll read again. John blew up the third floor, saving cops' lives. The press gets it on tape while the FBI arrives. Trust is betrayed. Ellis tells all about John, and John won't surrender. Now Ellis is gone. John and Hans cross paths upstairs, and Hans tries to be sly, but John knew his affairs. Hans and Carl get what they wanted so fast John's feet are shredded, they shot up the glass. The power is out. Theo gets into the vault. Choppers are inbound. A surprise assault. John went back where him and Hans met. The roof's wired to blow. We have a new threat. The sleaze reporter put John's kids on the news. Holly is John's wife. This news Hans can use. Carl finds John, wants revenge for his brother. Hung by his neck, John defeats another. John goes to the roof, sends the hostages inside. Hans blows up the roof. Both FBI agents died. John jumps off the roof to save his own life, only to find that Hans has his wife. John goes after Hans, who's shot in the fight. Hans goes out the window, his very last flight. Holly is safe, the bad guy's all dead. Al shoots Carl right square in the head. The reporter asks John about how he feels. Holly punches his face. The spotlight she steals. The bad guy's all dead, so have no more fears. If this is their idea of Christmas, be here for New Year's. Yes. 'Twas the night before Die Hard. I feel like there should be a spoiler alert. Well, I mean, I am reading the story of Die Hard. I mean, I'll edit that down and trim it up a little bit, and we'll get that out on the TikToks later. I agree, Cy Gamma. You know what? That here. It was there. It was there. Feature chat. Come on. Where'd it go? Right? It's gonna load. Or was that? There it is. Best wishes to our friend Bruce Willis. Absolutely. Bruce Willis has been dealing with some health issues, and he's not doing well. Do I have any snow? Nope, no snow. Nope. So far, it's a green Christmas here. The stream's made your Christmas so far. Oh, thank you, Sean. And I agree, Wonk Man. Yeah, spoiler tags aren't needed for things that are 35 years old. So, what is this snow you speak of, right? I'm only going to go for about another half hour, 45 minutes here, and then I have some other tasks to get together here for Christmas. But this does look like it's nope, there. Second operational in the context while it's still working, and it went and it was trying to reload on user manager. Shoot. Okay. And now I'm completely dead. I none of these pages work. Yeah, we're done. We're done. Nope. Can I get back to the index? No. That's not going to load either. Like once I hit it, you're in. You're done. Yeah. It's rebuilding. Come on. So I'm not thrilled with that. Making the request. Come on, get in there. No. Come on, open. No. Right? The container's running, right? Yeah. So what's it hanging on? I'm just going to leave the source code to Zombocom there because it's so fun. It's Zombocom. Okay. Now you're telling me you can't run it because it's running somewhere else, but it's not running over here. And I knocked it down, so what are you doing? Building the DLL. Start it. Yeah, there it goes. And it's not going to run. What the heck did I do? We broke this good, friends. Is it in here? Is it the get awaiter get result? File changed. Yep. It's got to be that async is not handling it. We're getting blocked somewhere in there. Yeah. Get required user, go back to that thing. Right? Await get user async. Is there a synchronous version of this? No. Get user name. Yeah, I should be able to do get await or get result there. Right, that should work. File change, reloading, and yeah. Yeah, it doesn't like that at all. Whoa. How did I get thrown down a forced synchronous interaction? Snowed for you today, Ginescu? Yeah, nothing here. And I don't think it's supposed to snow for the holiday. Why isn't it finding? Yeah. Nah, no snow for us. And thanks, you keep showing me the hourly forecast. There's the daily forecast. Yeah. It's going to be in the 40s Fahrenheit. We're not going to dip below freezing after today. Gosh, it's even going to get into the 50s on Christmas. So is that like 10 Celsius? Not even 5 Celsius. So, yep. I thought all Razer was async by default. Like, right, if I made that async task string, did an await on that, right? That should naturally await and return that content. But the reader is closed. What? And I'm lost in here. There's hang on. Right, that calls get user ID on the principal. And then it calls find by ID async, right, which goes on to user manager and calls find by ID async. And this is Can I now go back to here in the app extensions? I had made this transient. If I throw that over to scoped, bang, hit it again. The reader is closed. Why not make it async void? I'm never a fan of making things async void. Where'd it go? Login view. I'm not going to be passed in the context. Right, and this is where I moved it up here into on initialized and set a private variable on that. So I received a context and then loaded it later. So if I make this and await on that, right, doesn't like it. Which is yeah. If I do it that way, now I'm dead. Now I'm blocked. Do it within async like this. Maybe. That feels really ugly to me, though. Now I've got a funk. At which point then right, it's not actually executing this. Which feels completely weird. This feels broken at the Razer engine level. Blazor won't allow async. No. See, if I... Right, boy. If I try and just do result, right, that feels so bad. Yeah, blocked. Because just dump out the status. Ah, it's rebuilding, that's why. Let's just get some text off of that thing. Waiting for activation. It isn't even... Why isn't it started? Not on you right now. What if... Who did that? I do have Mastodon open. Yeah. So if that's waiting for activation, that tells me that this is a task that hasn't even started here. So if we get rid of... If we just make this void... That means user is a task. Let's call this... I really don't like this. Private task tags app user. If I did it this way, see, I could be in async mode here. Right, and then I could do that. And this just becomes... Now it loads. I go over to waterfall, and it's not there because HTTP context is null. But we know that authentication state What laptop are you using, Jeremy? Right, we were saying that there's a what was it that was being passed down? Authentication state, huh? So what if I receive authentication state as a cascading parameter? if we have an authentication state, then I can do the same thing because I wrote that method. Nope. No, you were supposed to change that to console. Eat broke. Why did you put that in there? Okay. Oh, come on, man. Rebuild. It's just not there. HTTP context is not null. But it doesn't have a display name. And if I, yeah, did you see that? It was there and it went away. Yes. Well, so the DB context isn't a problem now. Right? And actually, we haven't even tried it yet. Nope. It's still a problem. We're still broken. If I take this out of here, so it's not trying to fetch that display information at all, right? That works no problem. So how do I make it if I put the display name in as a claim also? Right? There is a... Oh, come on. Right, if I go down into identity... Now it just puts the email address up there, and it... Right, I'm okay at this point. I'm just bouncing around and not touching it. I have to do the user profile page anyway. Right, and isn't there a username also? Where was the username? User identity. I thought there was a username in here somewhere. Oh, it was when I got the user. So that's the username coming back on the identity object. Right? I would need to add another claim. Right, to get like display name. So what if I did add that? Right? Like, I need to do the profile page anyway and add username onto this. So this is account manage. So index. And that saves in and picks up the... What? Yeah, the username is kind of locked in. There's the phone number. So I do need to put in display name. Yep, thank you. So that finds a TagsApp user. Okay. And on valid submit, it calls user manager set phone number. I also want to set that claim. So I want to do... Hang on, where's user coming from there? Wow. Okay. And how can I set the claim? No. Right, yeah, there's user manager. Set the display name claim for this user. That works for me. And it's telling me it doesn't know what a claim is. No. What? Hey there. Thank you so much for the follow. Why isn't it finding it's reopen that. There's definitely some work needed on the Blazor editor here. Yeah, look at that. Poof, gone. Let's restart Visual Studio. You got 30 centimeters of snow since yesterday? Oh, that's a lot. Oh, that's a lot. That's going to slow down your day. So, new, yeah. At using security claim. No. Okay, at least it. System security claims. Okay. Is it rebuilding? What am I missing here? Need to actually put the form on if we're going to have that. So input display name. Please input your display name. And display name should probably go above phone number. Know what I mean? There we go. And that's not fetching and returning the value. Right, on initialized, find that should have come back with a value for me. Also, no. How do I tell this? Not on this page. You can join the first and last name from the current claims. Nah, I don't want to do that. And it isn't saving that anyway. It's doing a label 4. Binding value input display name, but it isn't putting that in to start. Yeah, right here. I need right input. Yes. Why didn't you correct that? There we go. Okay. Yep, wore a different Penn State hat today. Winter solstice. Yep. Absolutely. So, winter solstice for those of us on the northern hemisphere, summer solstice for our friends in the southern hemisphere. So, if you're tuned in from, I know we've got some South American friends that like to tune in, some folks from southern parts of Africa. Yeah, I hope you're having a fantastic summer solstice. So, but for us northern hemisphere folks like myself, the big ragu. No. Profile was updated, but it didn't update that. Right, login view. Do I have to log out and log back in? Oh, I'm not going to be able to log back in. Because I don't have the providers set up yet. Because I don't have the values copied in. Ah, nuts. I mean, I could register, because I don't have this blocked out yet. Well, I just shot myself in the foot. That feels wonderful. Let's save those changes. Yeah, we're gonna remove Blazor app 1, 2, and 3. Tags app, Blazor. Blazor client. Yeah. Added display name as a claim for users. Okay. So that looks like it clears up that little bit just to get that display name to show. Not a fan of that, but it works. What do we have for next steps here? So I should copy in and get the secrets copied over for the various other providers here. Let me see. I should be able to just copy my user secrets directly in. So I'm going to manage user secrets. And all of my authentication. I'm even going to copy down into Azure Content Safety. I think I can remove those other projects. Yeah. And if I do manage user secrets, and I know you can just see the edge of what I've got there. All right. I've closed my user secrets. I've cleared out my clipboard. There we go. So that should try to register. I need to reload, so it reloads my configuration. So here we go. With a little bit of luck, I'll be able to log in. Well, maybe not. You gonna tell me where? No, you're not gonna tell me which authentication type, and you're not gonna tell me where in my code that you didn't get that. It's nowhere to be found. Tuesday and Thursday, Walter. I'm probably going to be online next week. I'm not sure about Wednesday. This is an awful error message. Like, there's no way for me to see where that came from at all. Like, I know it's over here in service extensions when it's trying to. It's not in there. It's for the auth providers. It's somewhere in here trying to add the external providers. Microsoft, GitHub, and LinkedIn. Add YouTube provider. Is that commented out? I'm going to completely... try that again, restarting this. There we go. Okay, so it was the Google stuff. The Google. So if I try and log in with Microsoft, that's not me. There we go. It should prompt me. That's not the claim. I changed that. Where was it? Index. On valid submit. If display name changed, user display name, update user. Add claim. We need to update claim. Is there update claim? Is there any chance that I'm going to get IntelliSense working here? No, I don't think so. And you're not going to F12 into that either. Wow. Yeah, go ahead, save that. Definitely a bug here in the Razor editor, right? Like, somebody tell somebody. Yeah, there's add claim. Is there update claim? Do I have to remove the claim? Get claims, remove claim. I have to give you the entire claim? Like, so we could say, okay, we can do that. Is there a has claim? I could just say if right, it does. right? Because the first argument of the claim is the type. Yeah. So if there are any display name claims, remove it and then re-add it. Curly brace expected. So if I put that back so that it lines back up and then change this, now it updates. Yeah. Right? And if I log out and log back in, I thought there was a replace claim. Yeah. That should be add claim. What do you mean argument missing? Line 89. Right, so there we go. Cool. Was it seeing the cache display name? No. It wasn't saving and bringing back the claim properly. And I can jump through these, and it is properly letting me use them. And it shows, yep, my registered login, just fine there. And I pop this open, and it still calls me the big cheese. Cool. Got that all ironed out. That is what I wanted, Dragonthon. Thank you so much for picking that up. I feel better about that. Just do that replace all in one shot instead of doing a remove add. Yeah. Okay. So we cleaned up that bit of the security pages, which means I should be able to get into the admin stuff. Like, right? Where is it? Header. Where's the... I thought I had a link for the admin page down here. Where did I had... Moderation, blocked users, overlay, portrait overlay. Is it in the old login partial? I did. So let's go back to login view. And roles and policies. Role admin. That's pretty darn good. That's pretty darn good. We don't have an admin index yet. So is it not seeing me as an admin role? May have changed in the structure of the database. And I might not have that claim, that role now. Let's go back to... So there was a suggestion, hey, why don't we write out the claims? Sure. Write out the list of claims for this user. Thank you. Claims identity could not be found on home. I don't need that if. In context. Yep. There we go. So it does not appear yeah, list out, put the list of roles. That's a good one too. Sure. Roles and policies, role admin. We can do this. No, I'm not in any roles. Nitro Evil with a good question as we're going through this bit here. Folks say don't roll your own auth. Yeah. What they mean by that is don't write your own system to hash and store passwords and connect to other services to validate and verify that you are a proper user there. There's libraries already built for that are managed and keep up with the latest security standards. As much as you might not want to take a dependency on somebody else working on that for you, you don't want to be the one at blame because you wrote your own encryption, your own hashing algorithm. Don't do that. There's features, there's tools that already do that that are validated by security professionals. Use those. Hook up to those things. Do as little of that as possible in your own system. All that I'm doing here is I'm going to remove the ability for folks to be able to log in locally. And I'm going to make it so that you're logged in only through an OAuth provider. All the authentication and credentials and all that stuff happens somewhere else. And we're just hooking on and saying, oh, okay, you're allowed to use this. That way, I don't need to think about passwords. I don't need to think about managing any of that security sensitive information. And if your token, right, you're authentic, if something happens and you reset your token, you say revoke this website from using my token, fine. It knows how to kind of dissolve and not use that. So I'm going to put a big old button here that says add to admin. Like, I'm going to inject and just to get myself back in the admin role. Nope. iRole manager. Really? Yes. And it isn't inserting that. Microsoft ASP.NET Core identity. Cool. On click. Add to admin. Yep, there we go. And we should probably pass in who the user is. So async task add to admin, and that is a claims principal. I don't have user manager here. Thank you. System security claims. Okay, that takes care of that. Whoa! What was that? Hamsters? Okay, so that should add me. So this is saying that we don't have an admin role. Even if it doesn't succeed. Yep, rebuilding. Yee. Doesn't have a role manager. Really? All right, fine. I thought we had a role manager. Copilot's gotten a bunch of improvements. That's mine down there. We had a thing that tried to add role manager here. But didn't like that. But yeah, Copilot has gotten a bunch of updates. So updating with the latest models. There's some other shortcut things that it can do. Yeah, here we look. No role type was specified. Try add roles. Really? Service extension 65. Okay, restarting. Identity role must derive from role manager identity role. Hang on. Type of the role manager. I don't. Maybe that's what I needed. Whoa, boy. Yeah. So if I did something like that. Role manager, identity role, right? And now implement this. Yeah, it feels like for the default role manager, I shouldn't have to do this. No, I haven't played with the Fluent UI components. Like, I don't think I need to add any of those other things. There, it's rebuilding. Now, if I remove that, so it's just role manager there. No role type was specified. So if I have both of those in there now. Started. Yeah. Blam. Error while validating the service descriptor. Role manager. Let's go look at the documentation over here. Yeah. How do I configure roles? No. That's checking for the different roles. How do we configure this, John? I don't care about the threats. How do I configure it? No. Like, you can tell the security analyst wrote this. Because all it talks about is the threats. It doesn't tell you, here's how to use it. Server. They're not exposed to the client. To add a new role, we need to create async method of the application role manager instance. You aren't kidding, Nerd Herder. No, it's not in here. Role-based authorization. Add role services to identity. That's not the current version. That's from July. No, that doesn't work anymore. Including role manager. So it's building and restarting. No. And it's saying role manager of type identity role. Error while validating service descriptor. User claims factory. Error while validating role manager. Okay. Let's get right to brass tacks. Is it just broken? Like, is it just broken? Right? Like, I didn't remove. So there's Blazor app 1. Yeah. So let's set this as startup because this is the untouched. Where'd it go? Set as startup. This is the untouched application. Right? Blazor app 1. Start this. How you doing, Rambling Geek? And Olu the Crow. Hello. That's from January of last year. That is out of date. None of that. We could add a role claim. Right? Yeah, because that's in the solution. We need to add a reference to common. That's fine. That's fine. You manually added the roles to the database. I end up doing that as well. So there it is, right? So with just the default stuff configured, pages, home, right? Inject role manager, and I need a using statement for that, and it's not adding using statements. Okay. Role manager needs a type, so I'll add the default identity role. Okay. Save that. It did hot reload, and it looks like it gave me something. Okay. Sure, go ahead. No, that's not it, friend. What can we get out of... let's do override on initialized. No, make it the async one. That one. Thank you. It won't just... Yeah, give me the roles. Create that field. Oh, it's not going to do it. Yeah. That's going to create an array of type identity role. Yeah. Write out a list of the roles. Thank you. Try that. I'm fine. Really? We don't have an end UL there. There we go. No. All right, here's... So, we don't have a registered role manager. So we need to register the role manager. So let's do... Down here. Add roles. Identity role. Right? That's the default role type. Okay. Yeah, it should restart. Yeah, Lanky Scottish Nerd, you're hitting the same type thing that we're trying to get to here. And boom, doesn't work. So I would submit to you that role manager doesn't work. Yeah. Yeah, I believe it doesn't work. How you doing, Simon? So really? Add role manager, role manager. All right, let's try what they did there. Add roles. I'm going to add the default identity role. Add role manager. Does that work? What am I trying to do? I'm trying to get the role capabilities working, and no, it doesn't work. Doesn't work in the default. Remove that. Rewind. Run it again. No. No. Uh-uh. This doesn't work. Like, okay, what if I specify it all the way down the stack? It's borked. It's services cannot be constructed. No. Adding roles to a Blazor web project does not work. When attempting to add roles to identity in a Blazor project, one of two errors is returned, and it's unable to proceed. When add roles identity role given the default configuration in the templates in the Blazor web template. Is added. No. Oh. Do it again. Yeah, it looks around for a bigger box. Am I trying to use the identity stuff? Yes, I am. the following error is reported. Can I just copy that whole thing? Let's just say errors are returned and it's unable to proceed. Role manager is configured and we are able to use identity role references in a Blazor project. Add roles identity role to the configuration of identity in a Blazor web application. Eight point oh point oh. Been having a multitude of discussions on what? Since .NET 8 came out. No, I don't think it's... suggestion to add default identity instead of that. There's add identity and add identity core. If we say add identity, oh boy. It wants a type of user and a type of role. And if we get rid of these, scheme already exists. What happens if I try that back over here? Try that one. On the integration of identity in Blazor having issues. Yeah. It's basically building it twice. Right? If I just end it there. I'm assuming sign-in manager and the default stuff. Yeah. No. And without complete documentation, I can't go too much further on that. So I would suggest I'm kind of stuck on that. That's program. I don't want to be in program. I want to be over here. What other options do we have in here? No. Okay, so the way that I'm going to work around this is by creating role claims. Hey, Eternal Dev Coder, hello. Yeah, I had add. Oh, it's in dependency injection namespace. Let's comment this out. It's not finding it. Microsoft extensions, dependency injection. Right. No. I don't see it. Microsoft extensions, dependency injection. Yeah. Not getting it. I'm going to stick with this, which means I need role claims. And I'm not going to have roles as a first class, and I'm not really using it to pass claims. So by backing out of that, and there is no role manager on the homepage. So what I'm going to do I'm going to check if they have a role claim. Already did that, Simon. Yeah. Kawaii with a link. That's from 2022. This is the old model. They updated and replaced identity, and they missed some pieces there. Good eye, good try on that, but no. Instead, what I'm going to do. That. And then what's it really? I mean, okay, I can get a yep. So then I add a policy that is, do you have that claim? Oh, is it still trying to inject? No. Rebuild. Okay. So, add to admin. It still doesn't show any roles. It's showing display name. That's an identity result. Sure. Well, that does nothing. It does nothing because this is... Really? Rebuild that. Hey, John. Yes, I am using Postgres. Add it to admin. So do I need to log out, log back in to get that claim? I shouldn't have to. And it did is in role and it found it. But I had to log out and log back in to have it pick that up. Right? There's the role claim. And now I've got the admin menu. Something... Yeah. This is okay. We've learned something. And I'm going to log out to invalidate some of those things so nobody can use them. And I'm going to no, I didn't want to do that because it's already running. Log back in. There it is, admin. Okay. And I should also be able to go in here and say... there it goes. And it is seeing that claim type, so... Add role manager is now in add identity. Yes. And it is giving me my other... So it looks like I just need to move the roles into role claims, and I'm all set. We can do that. And these, the moderation and blocked users. aren't available yet. Why am I getting... Whatever. Let's save all this and call it a day. Because I think we hit a place here that we found an issue. We're clearly missing some things in documentation, and we have a workaround at this point. I don't need tags role manager. Right, we started that object in an effort to get a workaround. So I will delete that. And I'm also, because I'm using claims now for these things, I'm also not hitting that entity framework duplicate issue. So, let me just make sure that... Hey there, Chuck!
Chuck Beasley just resubscribed for 16 months.
16 months with us. Thank you so much, Chuck. I'll make another donation to the American Cancer Society. Thank you so much. Right there at the end. Let's just commit and push these things in. I'm okay to update it to use role claims. Oh my gosh, Chaotic Monkey. Thank you so much. Wow. That is very kind. 10 gift subs into the channel. I'm going to make 10 donations to the American Cancer Society. Yes, this is a problem future Mr. Fritz will have to answer. Congratulations to Christopher Stroob, Growl, Gizman Wheezing, Dukasoft, Jeff's Hat Stand, Kaminarin, Timmy Connect, I Am Omnivore, Minoj, MK2Bo. Congratulations, you got gift subscriptions. Thank you so much. And a big middle finger to cancer. Thank you very much. Friends, I'm wrapping up for now. It's my last stream before the Christmas holiday. I'm going to try and be back on Tuesday the 26th. We'll see how my schedule works out. I'm going to try and be streaming that day for a little bit. I think we should be able to do something. And then Thursday the 28th, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to reject that request for hamsters mode today. And hopefully we'll have a stream or two here before the new year and after the new year. I'm going to be streaming for most of the week after the new year. We'll see how it goes. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you and your family have an amazing holiday, a terrific winter solstice, summer solstice, wherever you might be. And I will see you next week. All right? Let me see who else is streaming on the big Twitch TV network that I can get you connected with. Yeah, happy holidays to everybody. You know what? I'm going to send you over to... Clarkio. It's been a while since I've been able to raid him. Have a fantastic holiday. All the best to you, friends. Get ready to say hi to my friend Brian Clark. And I'll see you next week. Until then, I wish you good health and good coding. Take care. There's a button over here. Where's the button? Hit the button. Do the thing. Send him over. Clark's waiting. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.